police officers are here in this courtroom, and we're going to pack that courtroom today to make sure that we get justice for our brother police officer and his family. They were targeted for a vicious, vile harassment, a criminal act, just because he was doing his job as a New York City police officer. And this group, they had a plan. They weren't there for a peaceful protest. They were there to cause chaos and disorder. And then they went to that home to terrorize a family and to threaten a police officer from stopping him from doing his job. It's bad enough for police officers to have to deal with violent agitators on a daily basis out on the streets of the city of New York. But it's not right. It's impossible while you're home to have groups threaten your family, to go after a police officer just because he was doing his job on the streets. This group had no right to go to New York City police officers' home and threaten and cause chaos outside of his house. This individual needs to be held accountable. No one else should have to suffer because this individual might be back out on the streets. We need to change what's going on. And this isn't just a sole incident. This is happening all the time. All police officers are being targeted out on the streets. Their information of where they live is being disseminated all over social media. So we need stricter laws. We need resources to help us to make sure that these individuals stay behind bars where they belong. So I'm proud to have beside me Assemblyman Mike Reilly, who understands what it's like to be a New York City police officer and has legislation that will hold individuals accountable who stalk and harass New York City police officers. So now I'm going to turn it over to Assemblyman Mike Reilly.
Thank you, Pat. First of all, thank you to the men and women who wear the uniform. You know, as Pat alluded to, I wore that uniform. I know what it's like to be in this city, protecting it, protecting the residents. And sometimes you feel like you're alone. But I want them to know you're not alone. We have your back. You know, back in 2021, when they repealed 50A, I warned my colleagues in the state legislature on the floor of the Assembly that you are opening up Pandora's box. You are setting up our police officers, our peace officers, our correction officers, and our firefighters with a deadly chance of getting attacked at their residence and their homes and their families. So the legislation I introduced in 2021 was to ensure that we hold those accountable who get that information and use it to cause harm, to put fear in the lives of those who protect our city and their families. This is a prime example of what we're here for today, that this legislation should have been passed. It sat in the Codes Committee. They would not bring it up for a vote. 2023, I reintroduced it. So we're here today, standing shoulder to shoulder, telling my colleagues in the state Senate and the state Assembly to take action. If this was in place, maybe we could have prevented it from escalating. But until that happens, every one of our police officers are in danger. Why? Because we allowed them to get that information. We allowed them to open up that personal data. And we all know how quickly that flies around with social media and all other technology. So once again, I call on my colleagues in the state legislature, Governor Hochul, Please, let's move this legislation forward. Not too long ago, we did the same thing for judges. We made sure that we put into law protections for them. Our police officers need the same. Thank you.